Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you subscribing, sharing, and thumbs up. Helps the logarithm. Today I want to talk about something very briefly as it relates to a comment by a subscriber, and that is as it relates to tools. So I'm going to switch this around, give you a better... I couldn't see the mountains yesterday because of clouds, but it's rainy season here, so you can anticipate rain anytime at all. Good morning. Yeah, there's some alleys I don't favor going down. Not when the dog is loose, because I don't want to, even though I carry this, you know, it's, if you can avoid a confrontation with the big dog, I will do it. So tools is a subject. Are you bringing any when you come to live, move here? Or if you're coming with a suitcase or two, and that's it, I take my hat off to you and respect that totally. A lot of people aren't into tools or building or fixing or anything like that. Good morning. But those of us who are more on the handy side, you'll want to bring them. What you get for them when you sell them, if they're quality, is absolutely laughable. Like 5 cents to the dollar if you can get rid of them. I had 5 garage sales. I didn't have a bigger offer than 10 bucks on a 3.5 horse Porter cable router. So figure that. And I have 3 horse and 2 horse and horse and a half and 3/4 horse, or actually I think it's 7/8 horse. But that's what happens. And you leave them and you forget about any kind of involvement in building projects or just putzing around. You won't be sorry. The cost is minimal as compared to the price of the tool or what you paid for the tool. And if they're in really good condition, I would bring them. I brought mine. I built a house with tools I brought. Anything you buy here, unless you're super careful in Lazada, is going to be junk. That's not against the Filipino. The Filipino can only sell what he can acquire through different mediums. I mean, he can only sell what he can get his hands on, and most of that is cheap junk from China, unfortunately. Now there are places like City Hardware. They offer a decent variety of tools. Wilcon, if there's one in your area. Ace and Handyman. You won't find everything in all these places, and very likely you won't find anything American. But what I would suggest you look for If you're going to buy locally, is something made in Japan, as in the real Makita. What else have I seen? Really nothing else that I would buy. You won't find American brands here. So depending as to your hobbies or your abilities to do things with tools, you'll appreciate your own. I can guarantee you that. I don't regret bringing everything I did, except that moving can be a real bear because it's extensive. But one option for you is Lazada. Now, there's a lot of fake stuff that can be purchased on Lazada. So you have to be careful. Now, this is from experience. Stay away from any seller that doesn't have the designation of Lazmall. That's Lazmall. They are the most accountable, their volume is huge, and their prices sometimes are just a couple dollars more, but you're not dealing with some flake that's going to take you in the end. I've done that. Yeah, you'll get something, but it's fake. I had two different sellers indicate that, oh yeah, this is a genuine product. It was Makita drills. I had a couple guys working for me, and they weren't totally acquainted with, in fact, they hadn't used drills at all. And so there are things that can go wrong, and there your tool sits unusable, broken, or the switch is gone, or it hadn't been adjusted proper before use. As far as the speed, the function, and perhaps the switch was moved halfway, and the tool is no longer operable. Well, I resorted for a couple of those, just to try them. I mean, the price itself will give it away. Smells good. Very nice. So Lazmall is I would just bypass everything else, even if the price looks a lot more attractive, because you don't know what you're getting. Also, these other sellers will give you 7 days to return the product. Sometimes it's hard to do depending on where you live. Lazmall, should you ever need to send anything back because of damage or whatever, gives you 30 days. It's at least 25. I think it's 30 days. So if you have to return something, well, you have that option. You have the time. And as I say, there are really an accountable bunch of sellers, Lazmall sellers. So, and it's a good option actually, because a lot of stuff I couldn't find in CDO, that's Cagayan de Oro in Mindanao. Couldn't. Screws for metal. Nope. You know, they sell everything else and no screws. Nothing that would be suitable. I got them online. There are the occasional non-Lazmall sellers, the occasional ones, that will actually give you a better price and the best service of anybody. And And that one company I used for screws was Homey, spelled Homy. Faster shipping, better price. Now that's on screws, metal for metal. Self-tapping, you know, pan head. But that's an exception. The rest of them, nope. I've been hurt. Good morning. So on the Makita drills I bought, by the price, I mean, that's indication alone that the tool is probably not genuine. $25 for a supposed Makita, advertised at 36 volts. In the early 80s is when I started buying battery-operated drills. And yes, those are a Makita. In the States, they're for real. And depending on the store, you can find the real ones here too. Usually a lot more expensive. Of course, I don't know pricing in USA as of now on the same tool, but I'm sure it's way up. But you get what you pay for. So these sellers swore up and down there's genuine. And so my reviews on those indicated otherwise. Because advertised at 36 volts, it was the equivalent to my first Makita in the early 80s of 9 volts. That was the equivalence, with the exception that the old Makita 9 volt the battery lasted twice as long, if not 3 times as long. So one response from the one seller said, "Oh no, this is straight from the Makita factory." Well, they don't have any conscience as it relates to truth. So, and you know where that came from, what country. So, you need to be careful. It's okay. I'm not going to eat you. That's how most of them react. Of course, I'm carrying a big stick. So, the light reflects off of these points. And so it looks more than a stick, and they need to know it is more than a stick. I hope I never have to use it, but I won't hesitate. That's for sure. I'm going to talk about something else now. Anyway, go to Lowe's Mall if you need anything. Lazada, and select Lowe's Mall sellers only. You will not be disappointed 99.9% of the time. I'm going to switch to safety here. It just comes to mind with that dog. Healthy looking dog, but he didn't want to have any part of me walking with this here stick. So, as I mentioned before, usually local dogs, on the street dogs, don't bother you at all. It's the ones behind the fences that appear very vicious. And I'm sure if you walked into their area, they would be. I think if you let them out and you faced them one-on-one, I think they'd run with their tail between their legs. And that's already occurred with me. There was an expat just around here somewhere. I think it's on the other side of the, beyond that. There's other streets that go east. He was out trying to chase his dog down. Well, that dog stayed about 30 feet from him, and I came walking by, and that dog, he wasn't such a friendly dog. He turned and turned and started, well, not necessarily started following me. He was right on me when I turned around. He did not like me. So I turned around. I wasn't carrying a stick or anything. But I turned and looked him in the eyeballs and made one step toward him, and he just took off like you wouldn't believe. But he would bite given opportunity. Now the expat did, he was yelling at him and trying to control him somewhat. Otherwise he would have been put down for a few seconds. At any rate, but as far as people are concerned, they're very warm people. They mind their own business. If you don't say good morning, they probably wouldn't either, but many do. Good morning. How are you? And I have no fear as it relates to safety issues here whatsoever. Could things happen? Sure. But look at the place I come from. Oh, they're mudding here, huh? Good morning. What do you call that? A finish coat?
Oh.
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, lots of hard work, huh? What cement mixture do you use? How much cement? Do you know? Okay. I guess they didn't quite understand me. Yeah? It looks good, though. Yeah. Well, you're in the shade. That's good. Take care. Yeah, you'll find that so many really don't know much in English, and it's okay. I mean, laborers tend not to have a lot of education, although there are people with ladies included that have degrees in college, and the best job they can find is at a fast food place, if they're young enough, or a department store. So it's sad as far as the availability of proper work here for them. It's very difficult. I mean, they have to save up like 3,000 pesos just to complete the necessary paperwork to be hired. And you know, when they're working at 300 to 500 pesos a day, which I doubt they get 500, let's say $450. Well, what's that, $8, $9 a day? And they're usually not just supporting themselves, but others also. So it's a very difficult life. But as it relates to safety nationally, places to stay out of would be the extreme southwest of Mindanao. I was talking to a Norwegian here, and he said he had a Norwegian friend and Canadian friend that went down in there in Zamboanga area, and they killed the Canadian, and they held the Norwegian a full year for ransom. Hi, puppy. They're little puppies. But so just stay away from places like that. The rest of Mindanao is fine. Now, mountainous areas can be an issue for you. Good morning, how are you? Because there have been known to be small groups of rather insignificant, by name at least, terrorists, and that's pretty much on every island, high up into the mountains. Unfortunately, they take advantage of the poverty up there from other Filipinos living in those isolated areas. In fact, that place where, on the way to the place I built a house in Mindanao, they had a little bit of an uprising there, and about halfway, about a year prior to me getting there. So you never know what can turn up. Just before I left, they were warning, bikers were warning that they were masked, a couple of masked guys stopping traffic and frisking them, and they'd roll a boulder or something on the road, so you couldn't just drive through them, which I would do. Or they'd drag a tree trunk, and you know, nobody wants to ruin their vehicles. So that was starting, that was erupting. Who was it? I don't know. But the possibilities of that in isolated areas is a potential problem. So keep that in mind. I've never been through this back alley here. See, it looks like it's all fenced. We're okay. But otherwise, people are very cordial and warm, and I feel 100% safe. So, sure, I walk with this, but that's primarily for dogs. Plus, I don't carry any money or anything when I'm walking. I don't wear my watches or anything, so they won't have much to stop me for, but just the aggravation of maybe getting hurt is eliminated by not frequenting those kinds of places. Well, I'm going to shut it down for now. And thank you for joining me. It's getting hot, and I'm going to jump in the shower. So take care all, and join me again. Appreciate it very much. Bye now.